Hey guys, Matt here, the Broken Supercoach, just checking in. The horror round is over. It didn't go as bad as I thought it would. As you can see, I've I've dropped more ranks than I've been for basically all of this year. So 720 is about as low as I've been all season. Not hugely fussed though. I've always said, the buys, people do make up extra points in the buys because they use a lot of trades, they flip it around. Some people cheese the buys. It's a marathon and not a race. I say this all the time. Still aiming for top 100. Top 500 would be great though, and it'd still be an amazing season regardless. So let's see how the team went. If you saw my original video, or if you saw my Friday video, the last minute, you would have seen the two trades I did. One, absolute disaster. Two, they were both okay, in all honesty. I do regret them now, but it was what it was. So let's see how the team looked. So I had Stewart on, beautiful, loved it. Lockie Jones, of course, does absolutely nothing, and now he's injured, so that's great, compared to Impey, who I traded, who turned up. So you love to see that. So just another thing that's gone wrong there. Jones, I was always going to trade this week. I would have preferred more than an extra 6,000, but it is what it is. Whitfield, this is why we got him, and I expect him to chug around this for the rest of the season. He looked great. So really happy with Whitfield. So if we go back to sort of set the team up, so we've got these guys, and Laird belongs there. So that's how the back six looks now, with hopefully Highmore and Murphy both playing as handy cover. In the middle, so I vice-captain Bont, with the intentions to do Lions, as I said on the Friday video. And if you took that advice, it was probably the captain, outside of Stringer or something, it was probably the best captain's choice. Bont was great, Lions was also great, could have gone either. But Bont is just he's in some form at the moment, just unbeatable form. Did get Parrish, who was pretty quiet earlier. Kicked a goal at the end, got himself an extra 10 points from that, and didn't scale, only scaled an extra 2 or 3, so that's alright. You're on a winner when 115 is considered a quiet game. Happy to have him, really happy to have him. McRae was quiet. Lions, as good as he always is. Interesting one that Neil was good. Walsh copped a tag, poor lad. Really frustrating for him. Still ended up 70, so that's a sign of good class for a player, isn't it? That you can cop a pretty hard tag, a De Boer tag, who is an ultra negative player, and still get a 70. So doesn't do well for us on the week, because he is a bit of a... I thought he was a bit of a pod, but he's not really. A lot of people have him. So nonetheless, he's done well there. Newcomb, so this is a disaster pick. You needed someone. I did need someone playing, so that's okay. But I've used a trade for 24 points when I could have kept... I suppose I needed the money to get Parrish, and we'll talk about Dale in a minute. But to get Parrish back, 24 points. This is a dead rookie, I think. I can't see how he keeps his spot. He was appalling. Just didn't look at the level whatsoever. He might get lucky because Hawthorn are a pretty average footy team, so they might end up with a little bit extra, but we'll see. Appalling otherwise, and hopefully he just gets to play. I was planning to have him as the bench cover here, but it is what it is. Reeves, obviously, we saw that, wasn't named. I expect actually Reeves might be back, assuming he's fit. It does say test. I expect him to be back this week. Segler was poor, and that's what Hawthorn get for dropping someone like Reeves, honestly. For two old blokes. What are you benefiting from that, for not playing him? You're not playing for anything for your season, and they pick Segler and McAvoy, and credit to him, the Essendon Ruckman Draper absolutely ripped up, because he's playing against two geriatrics, basically, so... Reeves will come back this week, and I don't expect him to go back out of the team. Grundy will play. You just have to speak it into existence. But Grundy will play. He's training. He looks good. No reason I think that he won't play this week. Now, will he score like he always does? Who knows? But we'll have our 2 rucks there. And hopefully Reeves comes back and then doesn't go out. So frustrating we didn't get his round 14 score. But we've got a bloke to sit here for the rest of the season. So that's great. And the Zorko suspended. So this is the type of stuff that I hate to see. Guys like Zorko. Hall Zeeble, awesome. Both probably tracking at all Australian form. And we'll talk about Bailey Dale. So I traded in Bailey Dale at 525,000, and he's lost 25,000, dropping a 50. Played out of position half the game, looked weak. I mean, it's against Geelong, who are they're a possession style team, so it's hard to score against them. You know, when someone like McRae is only getting a 97 against them, hopefully Dale's okay. When it comes to options in the forward line, they're so low. And I'm aware that Green went absolutely off yesterday, and I don't care. Because Green... let's be real here. Green punched a bloke behind play. And he'll probably only get fined, but that's the type of guy you're getting. You need to have spare trades if you've got Toby Green, and that's proof of it on the weekend. He'll give you good scores, that's right. But one day, he's just going to punch a bloke, and then you're done, and then you're in real strife. So, keep that in mind with Green. Dale, I think, is the best pick. Bale, I've been thinking of the Euros a little too much. Madden and Briggs, good to see them play. Briggs probably doesn't play. He might. I don't know how long Mumford's out for. He played pretty well, I thought. And so did they. So maybe he plays again, and that would be nice. I just needed him for the score. I needed him to cash out the money. So, and Madden, he's nice as well, but Bolton comes in. So, that's the team at the moment. Rank-wise, looking okay. Now, there's only one trade. Oh, it's interesting what people are doing here. There's only one trade I'm making this week. I've only got the 28,000. So I'm just slowly building up money to hopefully ride Callum Coleman-Jones out to be able to turn him into something. It's going to be Look, I'll be real with you guys. I full sent Parrish and Dale, and I'm happy that I did it. And in hindsight, I could have saved a fair bit of money going to Josh Kelly, and I probably should have done that over Parrish. When I consider what those two were doing, I should have just let Parrish go, but I hated seeing him. So I took him, and now I'm stuck with him. I paid an extra 100k for him, but he went up again, so he went up 15k, so I made money. Dale, look, the forward line is so poor. I'm just unsure what you're supposed to pick up in the forward line, and honestly, I may just keep Callum Coleman-Jones for the rest of the year and work something else out money-wise. Excuse me there as I drop my phone right on the ground, so don't worry about that. So let's do our one trade for the week. And it's a pretty simple one, honestly. It's Lockie Jones. He's injured. He'll be out for quite some time. Hamstring, pretty bad hamstring by the sounds of things. His break-even's high, so he'd be trading him anyway. He did what he needed to do. What did he make? 100k right on the money. Would have loved to have seen another 20 or 30 from him, but whatever. Is what it is. Send Laird up. Get my back six sorted. Pick a midfielder. The obvious one is going to be Luke Edwards, and that's done. Now I've got 154k to play with, and I'll just hold on to it. So it's going to be a long game to get full primo now, and that's okay. So I'll just keep working with players. At the moment, I've got 150 plus 240, so that's about 400 to play with. So if there's any good 400k players, I could think of getting them in. I'm going to ride Callum Coleman-Jones until he's at his about 400k, and then I'll use that extra money that I've slowly been building to get the last two players. So that's how I'll do those trades. It'll be later in the season. The issue is Bianco. So I'll loop these guys all the time. So between Bianco, Edwards, and Newcomb, assuming Newcomb keeps his spot, I'll continue to loop those through Brockman. And if not, I'll just continue to loop these two. And you can also get some you can also get a bit of assistance because I've got Brockman here. Madden and Briggs are both fine field options. Madden's a really nice field option, so there's no reason why I can't just send Brockman down and put Madden on for a little while, and then Bolton just sits here. And then I don't have to worry about Edwards or Bianco. I can just take Madden's score. So there's a bit of flexibility I can do there for a while. And it means I only have the one empty spot, really, the whole time. So it's just about riding, or Callum Coleman-Jones too. But honestly, he's very viable as a forward option at the moment, and I'll ride him to 400k like I was saying. So that's about where I'm looking there. We'll run through the player options as far as who we'd like to get, because I think that's the trickier part, is who we're going to go for. So it's a tricky call. If we look through, so I'd like a midfielder. So you just look through the top scoring players of the year. This is how I do it, really. And we'll just search for mids. And we just look, so I've got them all, which is really nice. I love that. I think these two are out of reach, too expensive. Wines was on my list recently, but 117 for 44 touches. He's a bit of a butcher. I think I'm a little bit worried about him. Mitchell we could chase along. Keep in mind that we're talking about in a couple of weeks' time. So where will these guys be at in a few weeks? Joel Selwood, don't really like the idea of him. Josh Kelly's probably going to go up to about 700k now, so I think he's long out of reach. Hindsight being 2020, I probably should have taken him. Only scored 100, but he was probably the right call. Petrarca I really like the look of. He's scoring some nice scores from what I remember rightly. 540. So if Callum Coleman-Jones gets to about 450, maybe I could sneak in and grab him. And then we get to these sort of risky ones. So, think about guys who have easy draws, guys who play like the Kangaroos again. It'll be an interesting one to watch. I think Travis Boak is a nice one to think about if he can get his game going. I think Hugh Greenwood is one to think about if he can get his game going. I don't mind Ben Keys if you can get him at about 480. I think the Crows are quite good, and Ben Keys is never going out of that team. Every now and then drops an 80, but I think he gives you that good 100. So if you want good budget options, Ben Keys is quite nice there. Seedsman as well is another one. If he starts to drop off a little bit, break even 50, so it's probably too late. But he has slow games here and there, but can go off. Simpkins starting to score really well. 524. He'd be the one I'd look at if I had to do one this week. Kangaroos look a much better team at the moment. So they're the mids. Honestly, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do mid-wise. Try to get someone like maybe like a Gaff. It'll be one of these sort of mid-price players. Dusty is certainly one that you could look for as well. And honestly, if you could afford to do Dusty this week, it'd be pretty decent. Break even at 62. He's only going further and further. I'll definitely think about Dusty. I don't think I can do it with Callum Coleman-Jones and the money I just made though, so that's alright. Not too bothered. And then that's the plan. Someone around that 500 mark in a couple of weeks. And if you want to talk forwards, well, realistically, Nick Hind I think is really nice at 480. He'll go out of reach soon. I hate that Jarman Impey is probably quite good. I think this role is no longer reliable though. Yes, he scored 100, 109. The role's not reliable. He was playing on the wing. He played up at half back a fair bit, and due to the way the game was played with Essendon, he did get a lot more footy than he usually would. I just don't trust his role. Every now and then he's going to drop that 40 to 50, and it's too dangerous. And there's just not much. It seems that the Langford pick isn't great. I mean, it's not too bad for the money that you would have paid for it, but 72. Yes, Toby Green, obviously 125, absolutely insane. But I can't see him playing every game between here and now. If he plays every game this season, I'll be blown away. Robbie Gray injured now, so yeah. Look, it's going to be a really tight finish to get a full premium team, but we'll get there. And I'm feeling pretty good about this team at the moment, using Madden, Briggs, or Edwards as that final slot to really boost us up the rankings. This is a strong side. Just short on the trades, that's all. 4 trades, but that's alright. The idea being that we'll just use one more to get that last position, and then hopefully, or 2 more to get these 2, hopefully. Or we'll bail them all out and we won't really go full premium because we'll have a fake premium in Callum Coleman-Jones. So we just need rookies playing, that's all. Now, captain's choice, tough one because everyone's playing again this week. I think on the Friday night I'll try out Lions again as vice captain, and then I think I'll probably just slap the C on Gorn into Essendon or Bond at West Coast. What does he usually do against West Coast? Well, doesn't score well against West Coast, so no. McRae against West Coast, not his type of game either. So I think Lions, and I'll just hope that he does well. Oliver against Essendon could be an interesting one. Doesn't score against Essendon either, so that's interesting. Geez, there's some really tough picks. Maybe Gorn against Essendon is the go. Yeah. Into Gorn against Essendon. So that'll be the captain's choices. Now, before I sign off, so it's a shorter video this week. There's not really much to talk about. If Grundy is not selected this week, I will trade him. And that sounds preposterous, but I can't afford to take a 0. If Reeves isn't picked, if Reeves is picked, I'll think about it. But if Grundy is not picked, I want to use that money. And realistically, you can get a lot of money quite easily from picking someone like Riley O'Brien for $528. This guy, he's fit again. He's looking good. He gives you a pretty nice score. Ignore these ones here because he was carrying an injury for a little while. This guy is a 100 average player. And for the 100k that you get back, that gives me 254. That immediately next week gets me that next premium. Yes, I'm aware how low these trades are getting, but that's alright. I'm not too bothered. But that's a handy way to get money. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I think Grundy will play, but it's certainly something to think about. That's really all I got to say this week. I'm just having a look and see what other people are getting. Jacob Edwards. Bloke's never played before, so a lot of people are just trading out Flynn for an 100k player. Fair. He's a ruck forward. Fair. I can see why people are doing that. Bramble, you can't trust. You can't trust these guys. Obviously, these numbers are so small now, so... played, got 50, probably took Newcomb's position, so bad luck, Newcomb. That's going to be it from me, guys. How'd you go this week? Where's your rank ended up? Obviously, I've propelled. My season is spiraling out of control as we go, but we've got a really nice base. We've got 2 slots to go with Callum Coleman-Jones scoring like a premium. I'm aware that he's, in the 80s, so he is basically a forward premium at the moment. So I'm feeling really good about this team. The ability to loop in Edwards, Madden, Briggs if he plays, Bianco. I really love that idea. I can also loop in Highmore if I wanted to. So, but that would rely on Bianco playing or Murphy missing. So there's certainly some choice there. So there's a fair bit of DPP to mess around with. So I'm really liking how the team's looking. Trades-wise, we're just going to pretend it's not a thing. So I've tried to sign off a couple of times now, so let's do it for real this time. Cheers for stopping by. Hopefully you had a good week. Let us know where your rank is. Let us know what your plans to get. Are you going to get to full premium? Not everyone will. So are you going to get there? what is your aim for the rank? Just chime in. How's your league going? Whatever. And we'll be back on Thursday to see a full selection of teams and have a look. And hopefully we see some names. Hopefully we see Grundy. Hopefully we see Reeves. Newcomb holds his spot. Hopefully we see that type of stuff, because that's what you want to see. All right, guys. Have a good one. Chat soon.